Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me as always is the person who puts the U in eugenics.
I don't want to, but I'm Sarah.
You are in there whether you like it or not. And today we're doing a review of The Fox Experiment. Now if you're interested in our two-player perspective and accessibility, check out our other video, Rolling with Two, The Fox Experiment. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. In the Fox Experiment, you'll breed your own domesticated foxes. Each round, players draft a pair of fox parents. Parents provide trait dice, and using those trait dice, you mark combined traits on the pup cards. And then those pup cards become the next round's parents. Play continues for 5 rounds with the traits on the pups improving each round. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Now, Sarah, why don't you tell us why we got this game?
I guess since this one is all about me, well, I was interested in it because it was co-designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, and we have enjoyed her other games.
Designer of Wingspan.
And Wormspan and something else that I'm forgetting at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of good games.
Yes. She always has an interesting take.
Yes, there's always very interesting things that we want to see. However, I had concerns about the accessibility of it, and so I had decided not to back the Kickstarter. Then I went and watched a Twitch stream, and I am 100% sorry that I do not remember who I watched. I tried looking through my history, but it's just been too long ago. So I won a copy. So that was really cool. And that's how we got it. So what do we like about the game?
So the matching up of dice to figure out the traits is actually a very engaging element in the game. It's just it has no reason to be as interesting as it is. But it really is to figuring out. I was like, okay, how do I get the most out of this little pup?
And I think the thing is, it's because a lot of those trait dice have half sides. So the whole thing is, you could have a die face up that has 2 halves. Well, you also have the friendly dice or tokens that are wilds. And so you could pair up one trait with a half with another, another trait half and put a wild in between kind of thing. So yeah, it was just very engaging to see how, again, to maximize that. And then on that point, it's all colorblind friendly because all those icons are double coding. They're uniquely shaped for each color of dice.
Plus, you can also name your pups.
Yeah, that is really fun. Your pup cards are cards that are laminated in a way that you can write on them.
Yeah. So we found it also very interesting that as you worked on these little pups, they would then get populated as the next round of parents for the next round of the game. So and you weren't necessarily going to be the one that grabbed them for the next round.
So the work you put into the game can be seen each round getting better and better. And yeah, sometimes you're like, oh, I really hope I get the pup I just made, but then another person at the table might draft it before you, or somebody else makes something that ends up being better and you are able to snag it for yourself. So just the whole engaging loop of you make something, you put it out there, and it's getting better every round.
Yeah.
So that is really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's everything of what we like about the game.
All right, what we don't like.
Unfortunately, the 2-player experience is not good at all.
It uses an AI that's fairly complex and fairly clunky.
Yeah, it's trying to simulate a 4-player game and failing to make it fun at all. The game already has a lot of bookkeeping, and this just exacerbates it. It just zaps all the fun out of it. If you want to know more details, watch our Rolling with Two video. We also, at the end, talk about how we made a variant to improve it, simplify it mostly, that actually made the 2-player experience fun.
Yeah.
The other thing is the player pieces are not 100% colorblind friendly. If you have the Kickstarter version, they are screen printed with different foxes for each color, but then there's 3 different foxes for each color.
In terms of shape.
In terms of shape, but also the printing, but they're all similar. So it's hard to explain, but I'm probably got pictures up right now showing it, that if you've got orange, all your pups look distinctly different than others if you have the screen printed one. Unfortunately, if you have the retail edition, they have wooden meeples. Everybody has the same 3 different shapes. So they could have done better to make one unique shape per player color, and then that would have made it colorblind friendly. The other thing is the action sequencing. It's very difficult to keep track of, and so they really could have streamlined that.
Yeah, there's a lot of points where you'll do something and you could resolve it right then and there, but they're like, no, this is not the time for that. And you have to wait a few steps before it goes back to, oh, okay, remember that thing that you did? And you're like, not really, but okay. And now is the time to resolve it. And throw AI in for a 2-player game, and that just muddies the water even further.
Yeah.
And turns it into just this big old mess of... Sarah kept stopping me. It's like, no, we have to resolve it in the right order. And so she kept pulling out the rules to the point where I almost wanted to grab it from her and throw it across the room. It's like, I don't care. I just want to play the game. But I didn't.
Yes, I'm glad you didn't. But yeah, so that part could have been improved a bit.
Yes.
I think, though, that's everything. So let's move on to who this is for.
Higher player counts and those
yes.
who don't mind eugenics.
Agreed. Both those are like essential. Unless you happen to like our 2-player variant that simplifies it, I can't recommend it out of the box for 2 players at all.
Yeah.
But it does look like it could be really fun and engaging at higher player counts. It has a 5 and 6 player expansion. I think once you get the sequencing of actions down, I think this could be a really fun and fast game, even at higher player counts.
Well, especially at higher player counts because you don't have the additional bookkeeping of an AI.
Agreed.
So definitely recommend the higher player counts.
Yep. All right, our rating.
So for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, a reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did the Fox experiment roll for you?
It rolled a 3, and the thing is, I like a lot of what's going on in the game. I like the idea of making the pups, and they're the next round's parents, and everything just keeps getting bigger and better, and you keep doing more, and you're achieving all these things. It's just the 2-player version sucks, and we're only going to play it at 2 players anytime soon, and it's just unfun. It's very unfun. If I knew that we could play it with more players, I think this would be a game I'd keep and probably revisit the rating at some point. But as it stands, I just can't give it a better rating. It just needs streamlining. Some of the actions need reorganizing, and the 2-player experience needs to be better.
I'm not going to belabor the point. 3.
Yeah.
Ditto. Unfortunately, that 2-player experience and the fact that that's how we will typically play is what kills the game for us. Now, we did have better experience with the streamlining that we did for ourselves, but I'm still a little iffy about the whole structure of the game and just how much bookkeeping, how much effort needs to go in order to get the fun out. Now, I will say there is fun in the game.
Yes.
It's just, it is a lot more work at 2 players.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this should have just been a 3 or higher. I mean, with the 6-player expansion, 3 to 6 players is, I think, really good for this game.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Yeah. Because when it came to the lower player counts, they were more busy trying to make it a higher player game experience and not make it a good that player experience, a good 1-player, a good 2-player.
Yes.
They rather it be a 4-player game themselves, and it shows.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, so 6 out of 12. Not a great score, but that does come with caveats.
Yes.
This is from a 2-player perspective. That's why it gets hit so hard. It really is a better game than 6 out of 12. It really needs to be a higher player count.
100% agree.
All right, Sarah.
Yeah.
When it came to naming your pups, what was your favorite name?
I don't know, because I was actually really terrible about naming my pups, because I don't know why. Every time we played, my brain would just go blank. And so I would just do, like, I don't know, Missy or I can't remember now any of the names that I don't even think I gave one the name Missy, but I feel like I gave them like generic dog names. You had more interesting ones.
Well, my favorite was actually a name that you gave one of my pups.
Me?
Loser.
Oh,
she was.
He rolled so poorly.
Yeah, and she was so smug that she's like, "Well, that one's clearly a loser." It's like, okay, call him that. And then I had a second pup, also rolled poorly. Well, that's obviously Loser's brother.
Although I ended up drafting Loser's brother in the next round because it still ended up being better than the other options.
That's true.
But Loser was still a loser.
There you go. And we've been Rolling with Reviews. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.